Is the reigning world number one, the reigning two-time champion of the world, mighty Michael and Gerwen!
Welcome to the Multiversum in Vienna for the final day's play here at the Austrian Darts Open. 16 players representing 10 different nations remain in the hunt for the 7th European Tour event of the year. A fairly diverse field headed by this man, the world number one, Michael van Gerwen, who is the clear odds-on favourite to win a 17th European title. But it's also a field that includes several surprise packages, among them the man on the hockey right now, Vincent van Der Meer, having a European Tour debut to remember as well. Austria's number one, Mensur Suljovic, is here too, flying the flag for the host nation. But we've said it before, time and time again, maybe this is the weekend when we see a first-time winner on the European circuit. Maybe it's time for the likes of Daryl Gurney, Jelle Klaassen, maybe Joe Cullen to add their name to the roll of honour. All will become apparent over the next 10 hours or so. Fasten your seatbelts. Stay with us, usual format on this final day. 8 third-round ties in the afternoon session. And from 7 tonight, we have the quarters, the semis and the final itself. Paul Nicholson alongside me to kick things off.
Pleasure to be here, Rob. Thank you to everybody at home for tuning in.
First leg, Michael to throw first. Game on.
And from the very off, we've got the world number one throwing the first darts of the day, but we see behind him a more relaxed Vincent van Der Meer than any time this week. Just get the feeling that he's got nothing to lose here, and he's playing someone who he knows more about than the other two guys he's played.
Well, not just dropped out, it almost apologised as it fell to the floor. But yeah, you're right, Van Der Meer, I mean, this is a free hit for him, really, isn't it? He's surpassed all expectations by making it this far. He's guaranteed himself £3,000 in prize money, by far and away the biggest payday of his career, and a chance just to pit himself against the best in the world, and perhaps even the best there's ever been, some might say.
And sometimes you have to test yourself and see where you stand. He's had 2 really good wins so far over Adrian Gray and Steve West, 2 guys from the south of England. He's come through the German number one in qualifying and Yanis Selashoglu of Greece. So he's had a quite cosmopolitan route to play someone of his own country.
Van Gerwen will not be taken out 161 with this particular visit, but he has plenty in hand here with Van Der Meer on 278. Winner of this to face either Jamie Bain or Martin Schindler. We follow the draw bracket effectively now for the schedule as far as the afternoon is concerned. So the winner of this match will play the winner of the next one, and so we continue all the way down the
36.
field. Also in the top half, Van der Pas, Gurney, Whitlock and Reyes.
57.
Could it be the day of the Spartan? 64. Had a good time of it 2 weeks ago in Hamburg. It might be his day. But I'm sure Michael van Gerwen will have something to say about that, especially when he's hitting 64 finishes in 2 darts.
Well, one or two said yesterday that the path has been smooth for Michael van Gerwen. Not that it needs too much smoothing for him, because he's more than capable of seeing off any opponent that he comes up against. But yeah, Van Der Meer here making his European Tour debut, and then either Jamie Bain or Martin Schindler, who are both unseeded, of course. Nothing can be taken for granted. I mean, you look at the list of players that's beaten Michael van Gerwen this year, a list that's headed by the first man to beat him this year, Richie Edhouse, and look at the problems he had the other night against Rusty Jake Rodriguez. No problem here though for Van Gerwen on the Van Der Meer throat.
Yeah, fair to say that Richie Edhouse was thrown into the snake pit on Friday night.
60.
Steve Beeson, Willie O'Connor, Darren Johnson, Ian White. all seeing off the world champion this year.
140.
I know what it is, Rob. You've got to give all those people credit, not just for beating the world #1 in what can be regarded as his prime,
121.
but when you get these opportunities, you've got to take them. If you look at someone like double 18 for Van Gerwen,
85.
look at someone like Phil Taylor, who's winding down, and people don't get the opportunity to face him now. So when you've got someone as dominant as Michael Van Gerwen, get an opportunity
50.
to play him, and you've got to take him out, because you never know when he'll get another opportunity.
Double 18 then for Van Gerwen, double 9.
A shot in the second leg. Michael Van
Van
Gerwen.
Gerwen takes the second leg
The
fairly
leg by
comfortably as
to
well.
throw first. Game on.
Well, as I said, Van Gerwen coming into this tournament looking for a 17th European Tour title of his career, and also his 3rd of this year.
60.
And should he win, he would reclaim the #1 ranking on the European Order of Merit as well. Even if Peter Wright had still been with us this weekend. If Van
100.
Gerwen wins the tournament,
And
he
trust
will be
me,
back
Michael
on top of the tree.
Van Gerwen does not like being anything but #1 at anything, whether it is darts,
99.
fishing, swimming.
Domination.
He's had a swimming contest with our referee in this match, George Noble.
100.
They had a little prop bet about who could do a swimming race better, and
58.
they trained for a little while, and I don't actually remember who won that. I think it might have been Michael, because he's a pretty good swimmer.
So I've heard.
80.
He's a pretty good fisherman too. I had the privilege of
96.
being off the coast of Perth, Australia with these two gentlemen, enjoying some fishing with the likes of Adrian Lewis and James Wade as well. I had a great day. And our fellow commentator in the European Tour sometimes, Chris Murphy.
Yep.
He's not here with us this weekend, and he didn't enjoy that fishing trip. It's a bit like a Gavin and Stacey type story.
95. It's a new 121.
Yeah, Chris back with us next weekend for the 8th European Tour event in Leverkusen, the European Darts Open. Now then, Van Der Meer looking at bullseye.
96. Mike Leeuwkwan, 93.
Well, that would have put the cat amongst the pigeons. A break back straight away for Van Der Meer, but instead, Michael Van Gerwen's looking at double 18, and once again he's on double 9.
84.
And this time he fails to take it out, so Van Der Meer with a great chance to break now. Should get 2 darts at double 8.
17.
He fails to make the most of that opportunity, and Paul
Michael
Nicholson
Leeuwkwan, 9.
alongside me is grimacing with anguish, and you can feel his pain right now.
He can indeed. Interesting.
A shot.
That's one way to get 9.
Michael Van Gerwen.
I'll be hard pushed to see if he's ever done that
Game on.
ever before.
Treble 1, double 3.
I don't think he was too pleased about it. I mean, he was grimacing really when he was adjusting his shoelaces there.
He often does that, Van Gerwen. You see him almost touching his toes. I'm not sure if maybe it's a nervous tick or just something that players do. Chizzy does it with his collar all the time, doesn't he?
Sometimes when you get a bit nervous, the thing that wobbles the most are your legs. I mean, that's where the term jelly legs comes from. And sometimes you just need to stretch your legs and relieve some of the tension. And maybe it's something like that. Well, when Vincent van Der Meer was playing yesterday, I was racking my brain as to who I've seen wear that dart shirt before. It's the colours of The Hague or Den Haag in the Netherlands. I initially thought it was Vincent Kamphuis, but I was wrong. It's actually Jori Meeuwissen.
Nods of approval all round from the Dutch crew here, by the way, for that. Feather in your cap.
58. Mike Leeuwkwan, 93.
Well, I've got to get something right, considering I got Gail King's nationality wrong yesterday. And Van Gerwen didn't get that 93 wrong this time either.
Fifth leg,
Well,
Michael
Vincent van Der Meer.
first. Game on.
He averaged 89 and a bit yesterday against Steve West. He averaged 86 and a bit against Adrian Gray, and he came into this one knowing that he would have to produce something unheralded to even threaten Michael Van Gerwen. And at the moment, he's just not finding anything. An average of around about 74.3 to be precise. Not the required products when you're playing Michael Van Gerwen. Always going to be a tall order, this one. Van Gerwen's average yesterday, by the way, in his opener against Callinger was 94.96, so he's on a par with that right now.
100.
You do find that Van Gerwen knows how to pace himself
and build into tournaments.
Absolutely.
130.
I'm reliably informed as well that Mr. van der Meer will try and qualify for next week. The European qualifiers are on Thursday, the day before the tournament begins. And a certain
55
Dutch legend who has been promoting darts in the Seychelles over the last couple of weeks will also be there in the form of Raymond van Barneveld.
Next thing you know, we'll have World Series in Seychelles.
Oh, don't. That's the dream. That is the dream.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a 180 hit?
145, marking by 89.
To go the 180 route because that would have left an awkward double 13. So sensible thinking by Van der Meer.
64.
Ooh, that was to finish that leg off for a 5-0 lead. And Van der Meer should get another opportunity. It's only going to be one dart if he can hit the single 3 to leave double 4.
Too good, that first dart. Double 4 it is, though.
Vincent
Vincent van der Meer gets a healthy ovation from the crowd as he registers his first leg on the board, and I think he deserved that. Just the 2 whitewashes this weekend. Chris Dobie against Stephen Bunting, and another match you wouldn't have thought there'd be a whitewash in. It was Rob Cross's defeat by Jelle Klaassen yesterday.
95.
That was a very unusual game, to say the least, and I would have loved to have seen the odds for a 6-0 Klaassen win, because they would have been very long indeed.
39.
Considering the fact that Jelle's just come back from surgery and he's just finding his feet again, and Rob Cross has been so destructive over the last few months. It was a blip on the radar for Rob Cross, but a very good sign for Mr. Klaassen.
Absolutely.
135.
You've got to think Vincent van der Meer is very happy about the fact that he's not going to be donutted here. Or bageled.
Yep, call it what you will. Van Gerwen's won the darts here in this leg, though. He's stolen them from Van der Meer. And he's down to a finish of 170. Would love a champagne moment here, Michael van Gerwen, just to give the crowd something to think about. Van der Meer looking to give Van Gerwen something to think about as well. Down to 85. Van Gerwen will not be tidying this up.
56. Vincent, you require 85.
Well, maybe a chance for a second leg on the board. And all of a sudden, tops for 4-2.
He's avoided
the whitewash. And he's actually inching closer now. Just giving something for Van Gerwen to think about. Shades and echoes of Peter Hudson, maybe, when Van Gerwen was absolutely cruising into the semi-finals in that quarter-final in Hamburg, and then all of a sudden Hudson hit back with 4 legs on the spin.
Yeah, shades of Peter Hudson or Warren Parry. There have been games that have echoed this situation, but you guarantee Michael van Gerwen just wants to get the 5-2 and put the pressure back on Van der Meer. But he's still on his free hit, really, because nobody expects him to win at the start of this match or from this position. But the last couple of legs and through this tournament, because it's my first look at him, I've been impressed. I think he's got a good temperament.
95.
Van Gerwen is desperate for a treble.
59.
Again, just a hint of an opening here for Van der Meer. Vital final dart for Van Gerwen there, though.
140.
Because it does get him down to a finish. But Van der Meer, again, down to 85, and I suspect he'll go the same way if he gets the opportunity. He'll be looking at treble 15 when he returns, if he returns, because Michael van Gerwen is now looking at the bullseye.
142.
That would have been the highest checkout of the weekend. The honour still with Tony Newell, 70 away. Bullseye now for Van der Meer.
55. 25.
He knows that was important, and that would have given him a chance to stay in touch.
He might get another opportunity, though.
Then again, he might not.
Well, he's dodged a bit of a bullet there, and a wry smile on his face. He's now 1 leg away, and he's just saying to the crowd, it's okay, don't worry.
That was ever so slightly
140.
quizzical and comical Mensur-style headbutt celebration, but from the man who was ranked #1 in the world.
140.
Well, Michael van Gerwen has stopped the rot and
45.
2 legs against. He's now 5-2 up. And he will play either Jamie
57.
Bain or Martin Schindler, the winner of our next match.
I'm just wondering how Van Gerwen will, assuming he comes through it, how he'll reflect on this. I mean, he's his worst own critic, his own worst critic.
140.
But some might say, well, this is an ideal opener. Okay, he's got the first match out of the way. He's won it. He was given a bit of a test, didn't breeze through it.
83.
And maybe, just maybe, that's the sort of match and sort of encounter that he wants. Van Der Meer just looking to put some
60.
pressure on here, and he's down to 116. Yeah, Tony Neal with the highest checkout of the weekend so far, 144 in his first round match.
93.
He had a couple, didn't he? He had a
125.
real indifferent 1-2-5 with a small 15 to start and a 16 a bullseye, but you get the feeling we might have something like a 1-6-1 sometime today.
100.
Well, maybe Van Gerwen can find a 1-2-8. I've seen him do this time and time again.
16 ball.
Not to be.
92. Vincent, you require 16.
Double 8 for a 3rd leg on the board. And to keep himself alive in this tournament. Double 2. Nice and confident. That's what I like about watching this guy, who can be described as almost the same height as Richard Ashdown, one of our
140.
one of our staff members here at the European Tour. But he just gets on with it, doesn't he? Doesn't seem phased by anything. And he's enjoying himself, and why not?
Van Gerwen responding in the way that Van Gerwen so often does, though. Just putting Van Der Meer back in his corner there, isn't he?
But after the celebration, and Van Gerwen hits that, you just speech bubble it or meme it and just say, oh, so it's going to be like that, is it? Right, you're going to celebrate, I'm going to enjoy myself too.
96.
He does that so well, Van Gerwen. And he does it so often as well. Just 10 points in the averages now. He's managed to bring them together.
85.
Van Der Meer. 85 then for Van Gerwen. Double 14.
Game shot.
And Michael Van Gerwen with a nominal win